The mocking begins. In a distant galaxy, far from Earth, the stars twinkled against the deep black sky. This was the meeting place of the Galactic Council, where many different alien species gathered to discuss their upcoming plans. The large chamber was filled with chatter and laughter, each voice unique and strange to human ears. At the center of it all sat Captain Maya, a determined officer representing Earth. Maya was proud of her home. She knew the history of Earth's fleet well. It had been built through hard work and ingenuity. But as she listened to the conversations around her, pride turned to frustration. The council members were mocking Earth's fleet. They laughed and pointed, convinced that humans were weak and their technology was inferior. "Look at them," said a tall, blue-skinned alien with long antennae. His name was Zorgan, a commander from the planet Krath. "They think they can stand against us with those rusty old ships." The others joined in the laughter. Maya felt her heart race with anger. The Krath ships were sleek and powerful, but their confidence seemed misplaced. They had no idea what humans were capable of. "Do you think they have a chance?" asked a small green alien with bright eyes. "I heard their fleet has not been updated in decades. It's just a pathetic collection of old technology." Maya clenched her fists, trying to keep her composure. She had spent years training and preparing for this moment, yet here she was, reduced to the subject of ridicule. The laughter echoed in her ears, and she felt small and unimportant. As the discussion continued, Maya recalled the time when Earth's fleet had faced great challenges. She remembered the stories of humanity's resilience. They had been underestimated many times, yet they always found a way to overcome. This time would be no different. Commander Zorgan stood at the center of the council, boasting about his people's technology. "We will crush the humans without even breaking a sweat," he declared, earning more laughter from the crowd. The words struck Maya like a slap. She wanted to shout, to defend her people, but she knew that losing her temper would not help her cause. Instead, she took a deep breath and straightened her posture. "Excuse me," she said, her voice steady despite the emotions swirling inside her. "I represent Earth, and I can assure you, we are not to be underestimated." The laughter faded slightly, and curious eyes turned toward her. "Oh, look. The human has something to say." Zorgan sneered. "What could you possibly tell us that we don't already know?" Maya took a step forward, her heart pounding. "Our fleet may not be the largest or the most advanced, but we have something more important: creativity, teamwork, and determination. Those are qualities that can't be measured by technology alone." The council chamber fell silent. Maya felt the weight of their gazes upon her, searching for weakness. But she stood firm. "In every battle we faced, we have used our wits and our will to win. We are not just numbers or ships. We are a united force." Zorgan laughed again, but it sounded weaker this time. "What are you going to do? Tell us stories about your past victories." Maya shook her head. "No, I'm not here to tell stories. I'm here to show you. Underestimate us at your own risk." As her words sank in, some members of the council exchanged glances. For the first time, they began to consider that there might be more to humanity than they had assumed. But Zorgan was not ready to back down. He rolled his eyes and waved a dismissive hand. "We'll see how brave you are when the time comes for battle. Your confidence will do little to protect you." Maya felt a surge of determination. She knew that the time for talk would soon be over. It would soon be time for action, and she was ready. She had trained hard, and her crew believed in her. "Let's prepare for the battle ahead," she said, turning to leave the council chamber. "You'll see that we are not just a pathetic fleet. We are the pride of Earth, and we will prove ourselves." As she walked out, Maya's heart raced with both fear and excitement. She had made her point, but now she needed to rally her crew. They would need every ounce of strength and creativity to face the challenges ahead. In the corridors of the Galactic Council, she could still hear the whispers of the aliens, but she refused to let their doubts shake her. With each step, her resolve grew stronger. She believed in her crew, and she believed in humanity. As she reached her ship, the Starfire, Maya took a moment to collect herself. The sleek, silver vessel stood proud, a symbol of human ingenuity. Her crew was already waiting for her, their faces reflecting a mixture of concern and hope. "Captain, did they take you seriously?" asked her first officer, James, a tall man with sharp features and bright eyes. "They laughed at us," Maya replied, her voice steady. "But we will show them what humans can do. It's time to prepare for battle." The crew nodded, a sense of determination washing over them. They knew the odds were against them, but they were ready to fight for their home. Maya gathered her team, sharing her plan and encouraging them to use their creativity and skills. "We may be outnumbered, but we are not outmatched," she said passionately. "We will surprise them." As they trained and prepared, Maya felt a sense of unity among her crew. They were ready to prove the aliens wrong. They would show the galaxy that humanity was not to be underestimated. The laughter from the council chamber faded, replaced by the sounds of engines roaring and people working together. The Starfire was more than just a ship. It was a testament to human resilience, and they were ready to take on the challenges ahead. As they finished their preparations, Maya felt a spark of hope ignite within her. This was just the beginning. Together, they would rise to the occasion and show the galaxy the true power of humanity. Preparing for battle. The Starfire hummed with energy as Captain Maya and her crew busily prepared for the upcoming battle. The atmosphere aboard the ship was charged with excitement and determination. They had been ridiculed, but now it was time to prove their worth. Maya knew they were ready to face the challenges ahead, but first, they needed to work together as a cohesive unit. In the main control room, screens flickered with information. Crew members typed away at their consoles, tracking the movements of the alien fleets. The blueprints of Earth's fleet displayed prominently on the central screen, showcasing the designs of their ships. Each ship represented years of hard work and innovation. The crew gathered around, eyes fixed on the screen. "Listen up, everyone," Maya called out, her voice cutting through the hum of machinery. "We've heard what the council thinks of us, and I'm sure you all felt that mockery. But we have something they don't. We have heart, creativity, and the spirit of humanity on our side." A cheer rose among the crew, their faces lighting up with pride. James, her first officer, stood by her side, nodding in agreement. "We've trained hard, and we've learned from our past battles. It's time to put that knowledge to use. Let's show them what we're made of." Maya turned her attention to the crew members who had been working tirelessly to upgrade the Starfire. "I want everyone to check their equipment and make sure everything is in top shape. We can't afford any mistakes." As the crews split into their respective teams, Maya walked through the ship, observing them closely. Engineers tightened bolts, mechanics fine-tuned engines, and weapons specialists calibrated the ship's defenses. Each member of the crew played a crucial role, and Maya felt a swell of pride in their abilities. In the weapons room, she found Sarah, the chief weapons officer, adjusting the targeting systems. Sarah was sharp-minded and skilled, always thinking several steps ahead. "How are we looking, Sarah?" Maya asked. "Everything is functioning perfectly, Captain," Sarah replied, a smile spreading across her face. "The upgrades we made should give us an edge in the upcoming battle. The energy shields are stronger than ever, and the weapons are more precise." Maya nodded, impressed. "Good work. Let's make sure to run a full simulation later to test everything under combat conditions." As she moved to the engineering bay, she encountered Rena, the head engineer, who was overseeing the crew as they installed new tech in the Starfire. "How's the progress?" Maya inquired. "We're on track, Captain. The new power converters are integrated, and we're optimizing the propulsion systems for maximum speed. We'll be ready to outmaneuver those alien ships," Rena said, her eyes sparkling with enthusiasm. "Excellent. Just remember, we may need to think outside the box if we face unexpected challenges," Maya reminded her. Rena nodded, fully aware of the need for adaptability in battle. With a renewed sense of purpose, Maya gathered the crew in the common area for a briefing. The room was filled with their eager faces, all waiting for her words of encouragement. She took a deep breath, looking at each one of them. "Today, we stand at the brink of an important moment in our history," Maya began. "We have faced mockery and doubt, but now we have a chance to show the galaxy what humanity can do. We may not have the largest fleet, but we are not defined by size. We are defined by our spirit and our unity." The crew nodded, their eyes filled with determination. Maya continued, "Remember, every one of you plays a vital role in this mission. We need to trust each other, communicate, and stay adaptable. When the time comes, I want everyone to use their creativity and skills to their fullest potential. Let's put our training to the test," shouted James, and the crew erupted in cheers. Maya felt the warmth of their enthusiasm, and her heart swelled with pride. "Now let's run a simulation. We'll practice our maneuvers and strategies against a virtual enemy. This will help us prepare for the real challenge ahead." The crew moved swiftly to their stations, and the simulation began. The main screen displayed a virtual representation of an alien fleet, mimicking the enemy they would soon face. Maya watched closely as her crew executed their training, calling out commands and providing feedback. "Turn to starboard. Prepare the shields," Maya commanded. The crew worked in perfect harmony, each member playing their part. The Starfire darted through the virtual battlefield, evading attacks and firing back with precision. Maya felt a surge of confidence as they executed their tactics flawlessly, adapting to the enemy's movements. As the simulation progressed, Maya noticed how the crew was growing more cohesive. They communicated effectively, working as a single unit rather than individuals. Their laughter echoed through the ship as they celebrated small victories and learned from mistakes. After an intense session, they concluded the simulation, and the crew burst into applause. Maya couldn't help but smile at their enthusiasm. "Great job, everyone. We are becoming a formidable team," she praised. "Let's take a short break before we dive back into our preparations. We still have a lot to do." As the crew dispersed, Maya found herself alone for a moment, reflecting on the journey ahead. She had a deep sense of responsibility resting on her shoulders. The aliens might have laughed at them, but now they were transforming that mockery into motivation. The time to prove themselves was approaching fast. With her crew's talents and their unwavering spirit, they would take on whatever challenges awaited them in the vastness of space. As the Starfire floated in the depths of the galaxy, Maya felt a renewed sense of hope. Together, they would show the galaxy that humanity was more than capable of standing tall against any enemy. With determination in her heart, she returned to her duties, ready to lead her crew into the unknown. They would face the ridicule head-on and turn it into a tale of triumph. And when the time came for battle, they would fight not just for survival, but for the honor of humanity itself. The enemy approaches. As days turned into nights aboard the Starfire, Captain Maya and her crew continued their preparations. The atmosphere on the ship was filled with a sense of purpose and determination. They had trained hard, and now they were ready to face the unknown. One morning, the crew gathered in the main control room for a briefing. The large screens displayed live data from the Galactic Council's surveillance. Maya stood at the front, her expression serious. "Listen up, everyone. We've received intelligence that the craft fleet is moving toward our position. They'll arrive within the next 48 hours. A murmur spread through the room, and Maya could see the concern etched on her crew's faces. She held up a hand to silence the chatter. "I know we've heard a lot of talk from the Council about how powerful they are, but we have something they don't: creativity and the element of surprise." James stepped forward, his brow furrowed with concern. "What's our plan, Captain? They outnumber us significantly. We need a solid strategy." Maya nodded, appreciating James's leadership. "We're not going to engage them head-on. Instead, we'll use our agility to our advantage. We know their ships are faster, but we have experience and resourcefulness. We'll rely on hit-and-run tactics." hit and run. Rena echoed, raising an eyebrow. That sounds risky. What if they counter our moves? Maya smiled confidently. That's where our training comes in. We'll work together to anticipate their actions. I want everyone to keep their eyes open and be ready to adapt. We can turn their strength into a weakness. The crew seemed to absorb her words, their expressions shifting from concern to resolve. Let's get to work, Maya continued. We'll need to gather as much information as we can about their fleet. If we can learn their patterns, we can exploit any weaknesses. With that, the crew dispersed to their stations, ready to analyze data and prepare for the upcoming conflict. Maya returned to her quarters, feeling a mixture of excitement and anxiety. The pressure was mounting, but she knew that her crew believed in her, and that gave her strength. As hours passed, Maya spent her time reviewing the ship's schematics and studying the enemy's tactics. She reached out to other human vessels in the area, gathering insights and advice. Communication was key, and she wanted to build a network of support. Meanwhile, the crew worked tirelessly, exchanging ideas and conducting simulations to refine their strategies. Sarah and Rena collaborated in the weapons room, finding ways to enhance their weapon systems for better accuracy and efficiency. James coordinated drills to ensure that every crew member knew their role and could act quickly when the time came. The following day, the atmosphere aboard the Starfire shifted from anticipation to tension. The crew was on high alert, watching the screens for any signs of the approaching enemy. As they monitored the situation, a notification pinged on the main console. "Captain, we've detected the craft fleet," shouted a crew member, pointing at the screen. Maya's heart raced as she studied the display. A cluster of alien ships loomed on the horizon, their sleek forms cutting through space like sharks. "Are they approaching us?" she asked, feeling the weight of the moment. "Yes, Captain. They're on an intercept course," replied James. "They'll be within range in a matter of hours." "Okay, everyone. This is it," Maya called, rallying her crew. "We've prepared for this moment, and now we need to put our plan into action. Let's show them what humanity is capable of." With the crew focused and determined, Maya reviewed their battle strategy once more. "We'll use the asteroid field ahead as cover. Their ships may be faster, but in the debris, we can maneuver more effectively. Stay alert and be ready to change course at a moment's notice." As the Starfire entered the asteroid field, the crew worked seamlessly together, maneuvering through the rocky terrain. The tension in the air was palpable, but they relied on their training to guide them. Maya felt a surge of pride as she watched her crew execute their maneuvers flawlessly. "Captain, the enemy fleet is entering the asteroid field," James announced, keeping a watchful eye on the screens. "They're trying to locate us. Let's stay out of sight. We don't want to give them an advantage," Maya instructed. "We'll wait until they are scattered before we strike." As the craft ships moved deeper into the field, Maya and her crew watched closely. The enemy vessels began to separate, struggling to navigate the rocky obstacles. Maya sensed an opportunity and felt a rush of adrenaline. "Now, let's go," she shouted, signaling the crew to spring into action. The Starfire surged forward, darting from behind an asteroid. They targeted one of the isolated craft ships, unleashing a barrage of fire. The alien ship rocked from the impact, and Maya felt a wave of exhilaration wash over her. They had taken the enemy by surprise. The craft crew scrambled to retaliate, but the Starfire was already moving, weaving through the debris. "Captain, they're trying to regroup," James warned, keeping an eye on the alien ships as they attempted to form a line. "We should keep hitting them while they're disorganized." "Agreed. Focus on the stragglers," Maya ordered, her voice steady. "Keep the pressure on them. They won't know what hit them." The crew responded with enthusiasm, launching another wave of attacks. Maya watched in awe as the Starfire glided effortlessly among the asteroids, the crew's teamwork shining through. However, the craft fleet was beginning to regroup. Maya could see their formations tightening as they realized they were under attack. We need to change our strategy. They'll start to come after us, she said urgently. Let's pull back and regroup ourselves. As the Starfire retreated behind an asteroid, the crew quickly discussed their next move. Maya could see the determination in their eyes, and it fueled her confidence. We've got this, she said, reassuringly. We'll adapt and outsmart them. The crew members exchanged nods, ready to face the next challenge. They were proving their worth, and with each victory, they grew stronger. The laughter of the council members echoed in Maya's mind, reminding her of the doubt they had faced. But today, they were turning that doubt into triumph. As the alien ships searched the area, the crew prepared for their next strike. Maya felt a thrill run through her as she realized they were starting to turn the tide. They were not just fighting for survival. They were fighting for their honor, for humanity, and for their place in the galaxy. In that moment, she knew they would not be ridiculed for long. They would show the galaxy the true spirit of humanity, and they would stand tall in the face of adversity. The battle was far from over, but they were ready to face whatever challenges lay ahead. Together, they would prove that Earth's fleet was anything but pathetic. The turning point. The tension aboard the Starfire grew as Captain Maya and her crew prepared for the next phase of their battle. The craft fleet had regrouped, and their determination was palpable. Maya gathered her team in the main control room, her expression serious. They needed a plan that would leverage their creativity and teamwork. All right, everyone. We've landed some good hits on the craft, but they are beginning to adapt to our tactics, Maya said, looking around at her crew. We need to think outside the box. We can't rely on the same strategies anymore. James stepped forward, scratching his chin thoughtfully. What if we use their own technology against them? We've seen their communication signals. Maybe we can create interference to disrupt their coordination. Maya's eyes lit up at the suggestion. That's brilliant, James. If we can confuse them, we might create openings for our attacks. Rena, how quickly can we modify the ship's systems for this? Rena smiled, her eyes gleaming with excitement. I can get it done in less than an hour. We'll use a frequency modulator to scramble their communications. If we time it right, we can hit them while they're confused. Let's do it, Maya commanded. Everyone, focus on getting the modulator set up. We need to work fast. The craft won't wait for us. The crew sprang into action, each member driven by the thought of proving themselves. Maya watched as they quickly divided tasks. Sarah and Rena headed to the engineering bay, while James coordinated with the weapon systems team to prepare for the next strike. As the crew worked diligently, Maya felt a surge of hope. They were coming together, uniting their skills for a common goal. It was moments like this that reminded her of humanity's resilience and ingenuity. The minutes passed, each tick of the clock adding to the urgency. Finally, Rena and Sarah returned to the control room, their expressions filled with determination. Captain, the modulator is ready, Rena announced. We can start sending out the interference signal at any time. Excellent work, team, Maya said, her heart racing with anticipation. Let's wait until we see them start to regroup again. Once they do, we'll activate the modulator and launch a surprise attack. They settled in, monitoring the screens and watching the craft fleet through the view screen. The alien ships were beginning to form their lines again, as if they were preparing for a coordinated assault. Maya's heart raced as she realized the moment was approaching. Now, she shouted, a fire igniting in her belly. Activate the modulator. With the press of a button, a pulse of energy radiated from the Starfire, disrupting the craft's communication signals. Immediately, chaos erupted among the alien ships. Their formations shattered as they struggled to regain control. Maya's crew cheered, feeling the exhilaration of their success. Let's take advantage of their confusion, James yelled, rallying the crew. Target the nearest ship. On it, Sarah replied, expertly maneuvering the ship toward the disoriented craft vessel. The Starfire sped forward, darting between asteroids as they approached their target. Maya felt the adrenaline coursing through her veins as they closed in. "Fire," she commanded, and Sarah unleashed a barrage of energy blasts. The alien ship rocked from the impact, and Maya's crew erupted in cheers. They were finally making their mark. But Maya knew they had to remain vigilant. This battle was just beginning. "Stay focused, everyone," Maya reminded them. "We need to keep up the pressure while they're disoriented. Let's hit as many ships as we can before they figure out what's happening." The Starfire danced through the battlefield, deftly avoiding enemy fire and striking with precision. Each shot landed true, and Maya felt a rush of pride as her crew executed their tactics flawlessly. But soon, the craft began to regain their composure. A larger alien ship broke away from the formation, its massive guns trained on the Starfire. Maya's heart sank as she recognized the threat. "Captain, we're being targeted," James warned, his voice steady but urgent. "Rena, can we boost our shields?" Maya shouted, urgency pushing her words. "We're at full capacity, Captain. I'll divert power from non-essential systems," Rena replied, her fingers flying over the controls. "Do it," Maya commanded, knowing that their survival depended on it. The ship shook as the enemy fired, and the energy blast slammed into the Starfire's shields. The crew braced themselves, but the shields held. "We can take another hit," Sarah exclaimed, a mix of determination and fear in her voice. "Stay steady," Maya encouraged, her eyes scanning the battlefield. "We're not done yet. We need to reposition ourselves." "Re-engaging," Sarah shouted, and the Starfire pulled back, dodging to the left as another blast from the enemy ship flew past them. "Time for a counterattack," Maya declared. "Let's get back into the fray and hit them hard." They maneuvered back into the fight, using the modulator to keep the craft off balance. Maya felt a mix of exhilaration and fear as they continued to strike the enemy, proving their capabilities. As the battle wore on, the tide began to turn in their favor. The craft fleet was losing ships, their formation breaking down under the relentless pressure from the Starfire. "Captain, they're starting to retreat," James announced, disbelief evident in his voice. Maya felt a rush of victory surge through her. "Keep pushing. Don't let up. We can't give them a chance to regroup." With each passing moment, the craft fleet dwindled. Their ships were damaged and disorganized, struggling to maintain their formations. Maya's heart raced as she realized they might actually win this battle. But just as she began to feel the thrill of victory, a warning alarm blared through the ship. "Captain, incoming enemy reinforcements," Rena shouted, her face pale. Maya's heart sank as she turned to the main screen. A massive craft mothership appeared on the edge of the battlefield, its dark silhouette looming over the chaos. "Prepare for battle," Maya shouted, knowing that they were now facing their toughest challenge yet. The crew exchanged nervous glances, but Maya could see the resolve in their eyes. They had come this far, and they would not back down now. "Stay focused," Maya said, her voice firm. "We've made it this far. We're not giving up. We'll face this new challenge together, just like we have before." As the mothership advanced, Maya steeled herself for the fight ahead. They had proven their strength and creativity, but now they needed to dig deeper. The battle was far from over, and she knew they would have to work together to face this new threat. With her heart pounding and adrenaline coursing through her veins, Maya prepared her crew for the fight of their lives. Together, they would face the craft and show the galaxy that humanity was a force to be reckoned with. The mothership. The atmosphere in the Starfire's control room was electric with tension as Captain Maya and her crew faced the impending threat of the craft mothership. The massive ship, dark and ominous, loomed on the view screen, dwarfing the Starfire and its surrounding fleet. The sight sent a wave of anxiety through the crew, but it also ignited a fierce determination. "Everyone, listen up," Maya shouted, her voice cutting through the noise. "We've faced tough odds before, and we've come out on top. This is just another challenge. Remember our training and trust each other. We can't let fear take over. James, standing by the weapons console, nodded vigorously. We've got the advantage of speed and maneuverability. If we stay agile, we can strike at their weak points while avoiding their heavy artillery. Rena, can we analyze their shields and weapon systems? Maya asked, trying to stay focused on the task at hand. We need to find any vulnerabilities we can exploit. On it, Rena replied, fingers flying over her console as she accessed data feeds from their earlier encounters. I'll triangulate their weak spots. Give me a moment. As Rena worked, the crew monitored the mothership's movements closely. The Krath fleet had started to regroup, and several smaller ships surrounded the mothership for protection. Maya's heart raced as she realized the scale of their opponent. "Captain, I've got the analysis," Rena exclaimed, her excitement breaking through the tension. "The mothership's shields are strongest in the front, but there's a weak point at the rear. If we can get behind them, we might be able to cause some serious damage." "Great work, Rena," Maya said, feeling a surge of hope. "Let's make our move. Sarah, take us in close to the left side of the mothership. We need to get behind it before it can target us." "Hold on tight," Sarah called, and the Starfire shot forward, darting between the smaller craft ships like a firefly in the night. The crew braced themselves as they entered the chaos, weaving through enemy fire. Maya's heart raced as she focused on the task at hand. She knew that every second counted. "James, get the weapons ready. Once we're in position, I want to hit that weak point with everything we have." "Locked and loaded, Captain," James responded, a fierce glint in his eyes. "We're ready to go." As they neared the mothership, Maya felt the thrill of the impending battle surge through her. "Almost there. Get ready," she shouted, adrenaline pumping in her veins. Suddenly, a barrage of fire erupted from the mothership, targeting the Starfire. Maya felt the ship shake as they dodged and swerved. "Sarah, watch out for those shots. Stay nimble." "I'm on it," Sarah replied, expertly guiding the ship through the chaos. They narrowly avoided an energy blast that shot past them, missing by mere inches. "Now, fire at will," Maya shouted as they reached their target. James unleashed a torrent of energy blasts aimed at the mothership's weak point. The impact shook the Starfire, and Maya watched as explosions erupted on the back of the massive ship. Cheers erupted in the control room, but Maya knew they couldn't let up. "Keep firing. We need to break through those shields," Maya commanded, feeling the rush of battle. But the Krath mothership was not without its defenses. It began to turn, its front cannon swinging into position to retaliate. Maya's heart raced as she realized they were still vulnerable. "Rena, can we boost our shields again?" she shouted, urgency creeping into her voice. "Boosting now," Rena replied, adjusting the power levels to strengthen their defenses. As they continued to fire at the mothership, Maya could see the craft ships moving to protect their commander. "James, target the smaller ships. We need to clear a path." "On it, Captain," James said, his hands moving deftly over the controls. The Starfire's cannons shifted, firing at the nearest craft vessels. Explosions rocked the area as the smaller ships went down, and Maya felt a surge of victory. They were fighting back, and they were not alone. Other human vessels joined the fray, rallying around the Starfire and following their lead. "Look," Rena shouted, pointing at the view screen. "The other human ships are moving in. We're not the only ones fighting back." Maya smiled, pride swelling in her chest. "This is it. Together, we'll show them what humanity can do." With renewed vigor, the crew of the Starfire pushed forward. They worked in perfect synchronization, firing and maneuvering as a united front. The enemy ships fell one by one, and the atmosphere shifted as the tide began to turn. However, the Krath mothership was still a formidable opponent. Its massive weapons continued to fire, but the combined efforts of the human fleet began to take a toll. Explosions rippled across the mothership's surface as the humans pressed their advantage. The mothership, The atmosphere in the Starfire's control room was electric with tension as Captain Maya and her crew faced the impending threat of the Krath mothership. The massive ship, dark and ominous, loomed on the view screen, dwarfing the Starfire and its surrounding fleet. The sight sent a wave of anxiety through the crew, but it also ignited a fierce determination. "Everyone, listen up," Maya shouted, her voice cutting through the noise. "We've faced tough odds before, and we've come out on top. This is just another challenge. Remember our training and trust each other. We can't let fear take over." James, standing by the weapons console, nodded vigorously. "We've got the advantage of speed and maneuverability. If we stay agile, we can strike at their weak points while avoiding their heavy artillery." "Rena, can we analyze their shields and weapon systems?" Maya asked, trying to stay focused on the task at hand. "We need to find any vulnerabilities we can exploit." "On it," Rena replied, fingers flying over her console as she accessed data feeds from their earlier encounters. "I'll triangulate their weak spots. Give me a moment." As Rena worked, the crew monitored the mothership's movements closely. The Krath fleet had started to regroup, and several smaller ships surrounded the mothership for protection. Maya's heart raced as she realized the scale of their opponent. "Captain, I've got the analysis," Rena exclaimed, her excitement breaking through the tension. "The mothership's shields are strongest in the front, but there's a weak point at the rear. If we can get behind them, we might be able to cause some serious damage." "Great work, Rena," Maya said, feeling a surge of hope. "Let's make our move. Sarah, take us in close to the left side of the mothership. We need to get behind it before it can target us." "Hold on tight," Sarah called, and the Starfire shot forward, darting between the smaller craft ships like a firefly in the night. The crew braced themselves as they entered the chaos, weaving through enemy fire. Maya's heart raced as she focused on the task at hand. She knew that every second counted. "James, get the weapons ready. Once we're in position, I want to hit that weak point with everything we have." "Locked and loaded, Captain," James responded, a fierce glint in his eyes. "We're ready to go." As they neared the mothership, Maya felt the thrill of the impending battle surge through her. "Almost there. Get ready," she shouted, adrenaline pumping in her veins. Suddenly, a barrage of fire erupted from the mothership, targeting the Starfire. Maya felt the ship shake as they dodged and swerved. "Sarah, watch out for those shots. Stay nimble." "I'm on it," Sarah replied, expertly guiding the ship through the chaos. They narrowly avoided an energy blast that shot past them, missing by mere inches. "Now, fire at will," Maya shouted as they reached their target. James unleashed a torrent of energy blasts aimed at the mothership's weak point. The impact shook the Starfire, and Maya watched as explosions erupted on the back of the massive ship. Cheers erupted in the control room, but Maya knew they couldn't let up. "Keep firing. We need to break through those shields," Maya commanded, feeling the rush of battle. But the Krath mothership was not without its defenses. It began to turn, its front cannon swinging into position to retaliate. Maya's heart raced as she realized they were still vulnerable. "Rena, can we boost our shields again?" she shouted, urgency creeping into her voice. "Boosting now," Rena replied, adjusting the power levels to strengthen their defenses. As they continued to fire at the mothership, Maya could see the craft ships moving to protect their commander. "James, target the smaller ships. We need to clear a path." "On it, Captain," James said, his hands moving deftly over the controls. The Starfire's cannons shifted, firing at the nearest craft vessels. Explosions rocked the area as the smaller ships went down, and Maya felt a surge of victory. They were fighting back, and they were not alone. Other human vessels joined the fray, rallying around the Starfire and following their lead. "Look," Rena shouted, pointing at the view screen. "The other human ships are moving in. We're not the only ones fighting back." Maya smiled, pride swelling in her chest. This is it. Together, we'll show them what humanity can do. With renewed vigor, the crew of the Starfire pushed forward. They worked in perfect synchronization, firing and maneuvering as a united front. The enemy ships fell one by one, and the atmosphere shifted as the tide began to turn. However, the Krath mothership was still a formidable opponent. Its massive weapons continued to fire, but the combined efforts of the human fleet began to take a toll. Explosions rippled across the mothership's surface as the humans pressed their advantage.